We want to find the zeros of f of x equals 3x squared plus 4x minus 7. And the way that you find the zeros of a function is you set the function equal to 0. So the first way, method 1, that I'm going to solve this problem is by factoring. So I'm going to take 3x squared plus 4x minus 7 and set that equal to 0. And then see what I can factor this quadratic into. So my first two terms have to multiply together to equal 3x squared. So that's going to be 3x and x. And my second two terms have to multiply together to equal negative 7. But when we multiply the outside terms and add them to the product of the inside terms, we have to equal 4. So in order to make that work, I think we're going to have 3x plus 7 and x minus 1. We can check that out. 3x times x is 3x squared. 7 times negative 1 is negative 7. And 3x times negative 1 is negative 3x. 7x added to negative 3x is indeed 4x. So we do have it factored correctly. All right, once we have our factors, we can use the zero product property that says when two things multiplied together equal 0, one of them has to be 0. And so that means that 3x plus 7 has to equal 0, which would give us that 3x equals negative 7, and x is negative 7/3. Or x minus 1 has to equal 0, which would give us x equals 1. So the zeros of this function are negative 7/3 and 1. And what that means is that when you plug a 1 into this equation for x, you will get 0 out. If you plug in a negative 7/3 for x, you will get 0 out. If you were to graph this function, the coordinate on the graph would be negative 7/3, 0, 1, 0. Now, if you hate factoring, the other way that we could work this problem is using the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula is the formula that says when you have a quadratic, it's going to solve to equal x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And in our particular formula, a would be 3, b would be 4, and c would be negative 7. So, substituting these values into our equation, negative b, the opposite of 4, would be negative 4, plus or minus the square root of 4 squared would be 16, minus 4 times a is 3, and c is negative 7, and we're dividing by 2 times a, which is 2 times 3. Simplifying, we're going to have negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 16 minus 4 times 3 times negative 7 is 100. And we're dividing by 6. So that's negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 100 is 10 over 6. So negative 4 plus 10 would be equal to 6, and 6 divided by 6 is 1. Or negative 4 minus 10 would be equal to negative 14 divided by 6, which is negative 7/3. Now the beauty of mathematics is we worked this problem two totally different ways and we obtained the same answer. So you may work this problem whichever way works best for you.